We are exploring one of a kind of blunder in the history of banking, that too committed by none other than Citibank. The bank is widely known, has a wide reach around the globe. Therefore, the reactions, counter reactions, and the WhatsApp jokes, they all make sense because the bank touches upon so many lives around the globe. It is imperative for all of them to have a shot at these events. I would set a context here, and the context is banks normally and generally make these mistakes, and whenever they do so, they go and bring that money back. Either they roll that transaction back, or they have the power to really call upon the recipient, and that recipient can always return that money back. So recipient cannot keep the money which is not his, as per rules around the globe. They are very common everywhere. So what happened here, we will have to look at little bit more in detail. In August 2020, Citibank transferred 900 million dollars to some recipients, and Citibank discovered that they were supposed to transfer about 7.8 million dollars, but they transferred 900 million dollars to these recipients. Ideally, this money should have come back any day, but not in this case. What happened here? To really understand this in bit detail, we will have to go back around 16. And in 2016, there is a company called Revlon, and that Revlon had secured loan of around 1.8 billion dollars from a syndicate of lenders. Citibank has acted as administrative agent, which whose job was to facilitate the transaction between the lender and the borrower. Here Revlon was the borrower. If we go by definition, the definition says the administrative agent is a financial institution that acts as agent for a syndicate of lenders in administering the loan facility with the borrower under a loan agreement. So if I simplify it little bit, that means they will keep track of loan, and whenever their EMI, maybe Revlon had Citibank as their main bank, so whenever they had to do these EMIs, they will pay these EMI for Revlon as per their agreement and schedule. So in 2020, what happened was Revlon faced some hardship due to pandemic. We all know every business faced that hardship. So Revlon was finding it difficult to pay that loan amount back to these lenders, and Revlon reached out to these lenders for restructuring of their loan. Meanwhile, that was happening on one side. Uh, in August 2020, Citibank, as per the schedule, was supposed to transfer 7.8 million dollars as per the EMI to these lenders, and these were group of lenders. However, they transferred 900 million dollars. Soon they discovered that the problem has happened, so they reached out to these lenders to roll that transaction back. But what happens when you know that the lender knows that your borrower is struggling to repay your loan amount? In that case, you will always be fearful of that money, and all of a sudden, when you know that the money is back in your account, you would ideally celebrate that moment. You would not want to let that money go. They did not return that money to Citibank When Citibank had no choice, they tried to they decided to file a court case, and we all know court cases take time. Meanwhile, this was happening. Some of the lenders agreed to give part of the money back. So about $400 million came back to Citibank, and 500 millions were still stuck. In all this, one can ask, where and what is the role of Wipro here? How is Wipro connected to this service? As per the 6i process of Citibank, every transaction of that magnitude needed to be validated by 3 people, and these 3 people were, out of them, 2 were from Wipro. One, the person who entered that amount into the system, which was supposed to be $7.8 million, and the second who will approve after that entry. So those 2 people were from Wipro, and the final authority, approving authority, was from Citibank. In this case, this figure slipped from everybody's eyes and they made this transaction, and this is how Wipro is connected to this event. Where the case stands now, if we go by the latest verdict from the City Court, it suggests that Citibank cannot take that money back. The rule says that any creditor, when he gets that money back, he can retain that money, in simple language. So now the creditors has won that battle in the first appeal. In the second appeal, the Citibank had decided to challenge that decision in the higher court. One interesting observation from the judge himself was that it is indeed a blunder, but because the rules suggest so, he cannot really order a rollback in this case. This case will take some twists and turns going forward also. Therefore, we will keep a very close tab on this story and keep coming back to you with latest developments. So stay connected, stay safe, and take care.